We're going to talk about Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. I think there's a lot of... a lot of people not happy. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of people not happy. And I think that's completely fair, right? The results have been terrible. At the moment, Spurs sit 15th. 15th out of 20, okay? There's a lot of people calling them to be in a relegation battle. You have to not have a brain. Like, they're not in a relegation battle. They're just crap. Yeah, they're just having a really, really bad season. People will point fingers at Ange, and I'm not one of those persons. I'm not going to say it's Ange's fault. I don't support Tottenham. I don't support Spurs. I think you have to look at the bigger picture here, and there's quite clearly a lot more going on than just Ange's ability to coach and to manage the players on the field. Once they go onto the field, they have to take the principles and the practices that they have been working on all week in trainings and, the team environment to then put out a performance. And they just, for whatever reason, it's not clicking. And Ange's job to the day is motivate him, get him up for it, and, just tweak things on the field. And it's, I don't know, it's hard to tweak things at the moment when you don't have the players to make those tweaks. Richarlison came back today, played 54 minutes. He got a goal. That's fantastic. He's a Premier League striker. That's what you expect from him. But where's everyone else? Everyone else has gone missing. I want to give a huge shout out to Archie Gray, because I think he's not playing in his position. And I think if you watch Leeds United in the Championship last year and when they were in the Premier League the years before that, Archie Gray's not a centre-half. He's not really a left-back either. Footmob hasn't played in as a left-back today. And they've got Ben Davies in centre-back. I didn't see the game. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but there's every chance that they switched around as well. He had Reguilon on the bench and Yves Bissouma. He had 2 first-team players on the bench. And I think that's where Spurs' problem lies. When Ange looks to the bench, there's nothing to bring on. That's because they're riddled with injuries, right? But even the team he put out today, that team should be getting a result. It's against a struggling, a Leicester side that's in a relegation battle with Wolves, Ipswich and Southampton. It's looking like it could be 3 up, 3 down. Okay, Wolves are just in there now because obviously Leicester won this morning. So Leicester just jumped Wolves. But I think at the end of the day, Leicester are going to be there. I do think Wolves have a little bit about them. They just can't put anything together. I think Wolves, they'll be in a relegation battle till probably the last day of the season. But I think Wolves would be my favourite to stay up over Leicester. But yeah, going back to the team, you look at that starting 11, and that's the starting 11 that should be getting a result against Spurs. You got the Kinski in goal, Archie Gray, Tom Davies. Sorry, not Tom Davies. That's the Everton player. Ben Davies, Dragusin, Pedro Porro, Bergvall, Bentancur, yada yada yada. You got Son and Kulusevski up top. Why are they not? Nothing's stringing. They can't string anything together. Let's put it that way. And yes, they've been unlucky. But is Ange after players? Is Ange looking to strengthen the... We're in a transfer window. We don't have that long left of the transfer window. And Spurs have signed a goalkeeper, albeit they needed a goalkeeper. Vicario's out for a while. Fraser Forster's came in and he shows that doesn't quite have the ability to play at the feet. And that's fine. He's a great Premier League goalkeeper. He does the basic stuff, but he can't do the stuff Ange asked of him. And I think they had an academy player or a 23s player that was next in line. So I thought Kinski came in. He was obviously thrown into a bit of a deep end to begin with that League Cup game against Liverpool. And I thought I thought there was a lot there, a lot of signs of promise in that game alone. Now, I haven't seen much of him since, but I think that's an area that they needed. He's comfortable with the ball in his feet. Spurs were putting themselves under a lot of pressure at the back, unnecessary pressure too, when Forster was in goal for that little while after Vicario was sidelined. And I just think there's a couple areas that Spurs should be looking to strengthen in. They've taken Ramiro out of the team and Mickey van der Ven out of the team, and they're struggling. Okay, they're struggling to score goals too, which is a weird one. I don't know. They just can't get the reception into Solanke. I mean, he scored. It was albeit offside. He scored against Liverpool in the League Cup, and he scored a few goals this season for Spurs. But I'm just wondering if they need that extra person. You take Solanke off, and they had the luxury today that Richarlison was actually fit. Richarlison came in and he got a goal, but it's still not enough. Heung-min Son hasn't been anywhere near his best that we've come to know of him in the Premier League at his time at Tottenham. Kulusevski's arguably been their best player this season. I just wonder whether Ange is wanting more players to come in, and Daniel Levy's not. He's not opening up his checkbook, and I think that's stupid because Spurs are in a spot of desperation at the moment. They need wins. They need results. They're in the Europa League still. They're in a decent spot in the Europa League, so they could go far in that competition if they wanted to. They don't have the squad depth. So at this current point in time, I don't have them going anywhere near towards that final of that competition. You just can't with the players that are out and how long they're out for. And then you look back, you start peeling back the layers, and you go, right, well, what's my bench look like? And it's not great. When Ange turns to that bench, it's not fantastic. And I get why he doesn't want to change his tactics. I understand that. Because if you're going to need your 23 players, and you've got a long-term project. This is the way you want to play. And you want to bring your under 23s in and have them know your system. So it makes it next season or whenever, Ange wants to pull these players up. They know exactly how they want to play. And I can understand that. And he may be a bit stubborn, and he may be, quite, this is how I'm going to play. There's no plan B, mate. And I think as crap as, it might be as a fan of Spurs at the moment, just to watch that, I think it's something you've got to ride through it. Okay, because if you come out of these results, say Liverpool come back in the League Cup, you're out of the League Cup, you're still in the Europa League or your European competition, you're towards the bottom of the table in the Premier League, but you're not really in a relegation battle. You've got enough quality that will get you points from here to match day 38. You're not, in any stretch of the imagination, you're not going to go down. So that's not there to worry about. It's how can you strengthen the squad to fight in these competitions? I just don't think Levy is... I don't think he's the right man. Now, everyone will say, yeah, but he's been one of the better, chairmans around for the last, whatever. He's not corrupt. He's not whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's built a stadium, and fair play, whatever. That stadium's great. It's a cool stadium. But what trophies do you have for that? The Europa League, or this European competition that they're in, Europa League, Conference League, whatever it is this year, they have a really good chance of going through and doing it. Because Ange is the guy who's capable of taking them this far. Now, they beat Spurs... They beat Liverpool in the first leg of the League Cup. Now, if they didn't have replays, he takes them into a semi-final. And everyone will have a go at him because his comments in the past about, I always win I always win a trophy in my second season. And that's true. You're in every competition still. But I think he's going to get let down. And I don't think it's going to be Ange's fault. I think it's going to be the club's fault. I think Levy's going to let him down as well as his own players. Because what are they? They're in a really good position. They lead the tie against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. They're still in the Premier League and they're not going to get relegated. They're in the European competition and they just beat Tamworth in the FA Cup. Okay? There's 3 trophies available to them. Premier League, they're nowhere near. We know that. They're nowhere near. But there's 3 trophies available to them. In the last few days left, they really need to dip into the transfer market. They need to look at something. They need to stabilise that back line. Maybe you get a centre back in. Maybe you can, move Archie up the field. He's a bloody talented footballer. But I think there's been a lot of pressure on him at the back. But yeah. I don't know. I think Spurs have everything to turn the season around. If Daniel Levy opens up his checkbook. And if not only the players, but the fans actually buy into what Ange is bringing. Because at the end of the day, if you write the season off, you sack him now, you sack him at the end of the season, or you sack him if they lose the next game of the League Cup, which I've seen floating about on Twitter. Daniel Levy's waiting until after the League Cup game, because if they lose the League Cup game, yada, 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 Ange is gone. Who are you going to get? Who is out there that will say after Conte, after Nuno, after Jose, after Ange, after every single one of those are gone, the environment's crap, this is that, this and that and the other. Who wants to come in and take that project on? I don't know. Let us know your thoughts. I'll catch you later.